Hi there, I am Shalom and today we shall study about the types of pronouns. To deliver the impact of the sentence being delivered, a noun is used to replace another word in the part of speech. A word that is used in the place of a noun is called as a pronoun. So we see what is the meaning of pronoun. Pro means a noun. So pronoun definition is a word which is used instead of a noun. Now let us start with the subject pronouns. What are subject pronouns? How will we use the subject pronouns? I call myself I. I call you you. But if I have to talk about the student's boy, I will say he. He is in front of me. You see this boy? He is standing in front of me. So we use he. So instead of using student boy, I will say he. He is in front of me. Instead of saying my sister lives with me, I can say she lives with me. Instead of saying the board is white, I will say it is white. This is a non-living thing, so I will say it is white. I will use the word it. My sister and I live together. We live together. Always remember, I plus anybody is equal to we. My brother and sister came to meet me on my birthday. Now my brother and sister, we see they. Now we will see why are these all called subject pronouns. That is I, we, you, he, she, it. The subject will always be followed by a verb. So these subject pronouns, when they replace the noun, it will be followed by the verb. Now let us look at the object pronouns. What are object pronouns? For example, I say I teach English. Instead of saying English, I say I teach it. Here we have me, you, him, her, it, us, them. For example, I say my mother loves me. So, my mother is the subject. She loves who? She loves me. So, we use me as the object pronoun. I teach you. I is the subject. I teach whom? I teach you. So, I used you as the object pronoun. I love my brother. I love him. So, I've used the object pronoun him. Another example, I say, I love my sister. I love her. I have my cat. I love my car. Then I love it. So I use the it as an object pronoun. He teaches us. That means the teacher who comes to my house teaches my sister and me. He stands for teacher. He is one doing something. He teaches whom? My sister and me. I always remember I plus anybody will become us. So I say he teaches us. He teaches other students also means he teaches them. So I use the object pronoun them. So we see the object pronouns are me, us, you, him, her, it and them. So we always replace noun with a pronoun. Now let us see about possessive pronouns. We use the possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns tells us who possesses it, like mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. You know that pronoun is used instead of a noun. So if I say this is my car, it is mine. This is my book. So I say this is mine. So that means I'm not using the noun car, and instead of that I'm trying to show who possesses it. If I say is this yours, I'm not mentioning what, but we don't have any noun like that. Suppose I say is this your pen, then I'm asking you is this your marker, is this yours. So we see when I say I think it is his, we are not saying it is his marker. Please note when we write mine, yours, his, hers. It is a possessive adjective because then it is followed by the noun. For example, I say this is my book. It is followed by the noun book. Here the noun will be missing. In possessive pronoun, the noun will be missing. Suppose I say this house is ours, this bedroom is theirs. So all these are possessive pronouns. So always remember that possessive pronoun, it shows something belongs to somebody. It never takes a noun, and they do not take apostrophe. We do not add any apostrophe mark on yours. You have to write simple your and s. So these are all about possessive pronouns. Now you'll be wondering, what are possessive adjectives? Possessive adjectives are my, our, your, her, its and theirs. It always takes a noun, like this is my book. So this is a difference in possessive adjective and possessive pronoun. In types of pronouns, we will see about the personal pronouns. What are personal pronouns? Personal pronouns stand for the names. Personal pronoun means it takes the place of the specific nouns. That is the names of person, place and things. I have written PPT in short form because there is no place over here. So personal pronouns, it has the same number, gender, case has its own. In personal pronouns, when they have different personal pronouns are used together, the order is 2, 3, 1. What do you mean by 2, 3, 1? 2 means second person, third person and first person. See over here, the second person always comes first. When two different personal pronouns are used together, we use this order. 2 means second person, 3 means third person, we use he, and I we use as first person. So for example, I say you, he, I, and all the girls will go together. Now let us see the last one. When the order is reversed, when there is a fault in the sentence, then we use the order 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2 means first person, third person and second person. I, he, you are responsible for his loss. So there is a fault. So whenever there is a fault, we use the first, third and the second person, that is I, he and you. As I have explained to you what is subject pronouns and object pronouns, you will have to study this table which has nominative case, accusative case, possessive case. Personal pronouns stand for three persons, that is the first person which is a speaker. See here, this boy, he is a speaker. He is the first person. The second person, the one spoken to, that is you. He is telling the one spoken to, the second boy. So we use you as the second person. Then the third person, the one spoken about. So you see the third person. In third person we have three types. That is the masculine, feminine and the neuter gender. For masculine, for all males we use he. For all females we use she, and for all things we use it. Now suppose we say for pets, then we use he and she. Otherwise for animals we use only it. As I have explained you about the subject, object and the possessive pronouns, so this all consists of personal pronouns. We also have personal pronouns like myself, yourself, himself, herself, ourselves, itself, yourselves and themselves, but they do not stand for people. So these are personal pronouns, but they do not stand for people. Now let us see about the second pronoun, that is the emphatic pronoun. Emphatic means for the sake of emphasis. Now we see pronouns. Here in the pronouns the meaning changes and the placement also changes. Now we see in emphatic we have written example, he himself painted it, I did it myself. We are emphasizing he. We are emphasizing he, which is a pronoun. We see this boy, he himself painted it, means he is doing the work himself. It is used to emphasize nouns or pronouns. It is never used as a subject. For example, I have written myself have done it. Never use myself first. you have to say I have done it. We are examples of emphatic are myself, yourself, himself, herself, ourselves, itself, yourselves, and themselves. Now be very careful because these both can be very confusing. What is confusing? Yes, using emphatic and reflexive, because they both are similar pronouns. We will write myself, yourself, herself, himself, herself, itself, yourself. This is for plural. Ourselves, themselves. How can it be understood if we use it in a reflective way or an emphatic way? Reflexive means the work that we do for ourselves. So the subject is equal to the object. The person is doing the verb to himself. But in emphatic, I want to show that the person himself is doing it, not somebody else. He himself is doing everything. He himself painted it. So we could write khud hi. Now the placement is also different. Suppose I say I scrub myself. When you see this myself in the place of object, but it stands for the same person as a subject, it comes after the verb in reflexive. Now here I write he himself painted it. You will find the difference in the placement in emphatic and reflexive. Now suppose I say now I do something myself. It will become reflexive. He does it himself. She does it herself. Because there are many types of pronouns, we have to cover. The first type subject are easy to know, but you have to replace as they are in the beginning of the sentence. The object comes after the verb. Always remember, emphatic it comes before the verb. The emphatic and the reflexive may come before or after the verb. This comes before the verb, this comes after the verb, depending on which context is used and how it is used and what it means. Suppose I say she saw herself in the mirror, will be reflexive because she herself saw herself in the mirror. So whether we say she saw herself or she herself saw, the placement differs. I hope this is clear. Should we go ahead with the other pronouns? Now let me tell you about reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun means action is done by the subject. It reflects upon the subject. Reflex means it turns back. The girl is herself. She saw herself in the mirror. Now reflexive is used as an object. Reflexive is used when subject and object are the same person. Here we see the same person. Reflexive pronouns are never used as a subject. For example, myself we cannot use as a subject. You have to say I can learn this easily. In reflexive, verbs such as overrate, enjoy and avail are followed by a relative pronoun. For example, I say he overate himself and fell ill. For enjoy, I will write example, we enjoyed ourselves. So in reflexive, we have used after a verb and a preposition. For example, I say he spoke to himself. So we have used himself after the verb spoke and to. For example, if I say look after yourself, we use yourself after look, that is a verb, and after the preposition. And reflexive is not used when preposition indicates some place or space. For example, I say he took his dog with him. He went to some place. We don't write himself because the reflexive is not used when preposition indicates some place or space. Then always remember that reflexive, they are compound personal pronouns. Whenever we add self or selves to my, your, him, her, they are all compound personal pronouns. And when we use selves to our, your and them, then they also become compound personal pronouns. So reflexive are compound personal pronouns. So this is all about emphatic and reflexive. In short, you have to remember that emphatic comes before the verb and reflexive comes after the verb. And reflexive, he does the work himself. And emphatic, it is used to emphasize nouns or pronouns. So let us go to the next type of pronoun, that is the demonstrative pronoun. What do you mean by demonstrative pronoun? Demonstrative pronoun, it means it is used to point out person, things. For example, this, these, that, and those. Always remember, this and these are near to the speaker, while that and those are farther away from the speaker. In demonstrative pronoun, the relative distance between the speaker and the noun is called as a demonstrative pronoun. And always remember that it is demonstrative always before a verb. For example, I say, this is a book. That is your book. These are my favorite books. For those, I say, those were the golden days of my life. Now, in demonstrative, suppose I say, this book is mine, then it becomes a determiner. Whenever there is a noun after it, then it becomes a determiner. Otherwise, if it is a pronoun, it is always before a verb, then it is used as a demonstrative pronoun. This is all about demonstrative pronoun. Let's go to the fifth one. Indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronoun means the person or things in a general way. For example, all means everybody. Some, so you see some, none, everyone, few, everybody, nobody, many, one. For example, I say, one must not praise oneself. We use one instead of repeating a singular noun. We use ones instead of repeating a plural noun. We use one and ones in place of countable nouns. For example, I have written, one must do one's duty. So always remember, in indefinite pronoun, when one is repeatedly used in a sentence, we have to repeat it again. So you say, one must do one's duty. For next example, you say, everybody likes to do his best. So in the indefinite pronoun, we use a singular masculine gender with an indefinite pronoun, which is everybody. So always to use an singular masculine gender like he or she words, like everybody likes to do his best. So this is all about indefinite pronouns, which is not specific, it is no specific, but is used in a general way, like all, some, none, everyone, few, everybody, nobody, many, and one. So this is all about indefinite pronoun. Now let us go to the sixth one, that is the distributive pronoun. Distributive pronoun, for example, each, either, and neither. Each means one single person in a group. Like you see, 1 plus x, they are all single persons in a group. Either means the one or any other one, either this pen or that pen. Neither means the negative of either. It is not either. It is neither this nor this. Suppose I say, I have 2 pens. So I use either the black one or the blue one. If I say, I have 2 pens, neither I want black pen nor the blue pen. So distributive pronouns are used to denote person or things one at a time. Distributive pronouns always are used in a singular. That is the reason, because it denotes a person or things one at a time. So it is used as a singular, and the verb following them must also be singular. For example, each of them got a prize. Either of the 2 pens will do. Other example, neither of the 2 pens will be selected. So this is all about distributive pronoun, which has each, either, and neither. Now let us go to the next pronoun, that is the relative pronoun. The seventh pronoun, that is the relative pronoun. A relative pronoun is related to a precedent. A precedent is something which has come before. In this we have who, which, that, whom, whose, what. Let us take examples. Like I say, this is a boy who comes to learn English. Now this word who stands for the boy we are talking about. Instead of the boy, we are using the pronouns who. Now here, who is not a question. It is not an interrogative word. It is not asking who. It is not asking kaun hai. It is telling wo jo. So we know who stands for the thing precedes it. Like who stands for boy. Please note that the pronoun cannot be used first. First we must have the noun mentioned and then you have the pronoun, because you won't know what the pronoun is used. So please understand what is the relative pronoun. When we use relative pronoun, we saw who, which, that, whom, whose and what. We have to be very careful. Like who refers to people, which is used in ordinary talking. Who is always used for a person. Who as a person acts as a subject. I have written S for subject in short because there is less space. How do we know that it is a subject? If I say this is a man who came to my house, we are talking about the man who came. The man is the subject, the main person we are talking about. And you can see who is followed by the verb came. So this who acts as a subject. And when I talk about which, it can act as a subject also and it can act as an object also. Always remember which refers to animals and objects, and it refers to subject as well as object. Please note that who stands for person and which can stand for thing, that is subject as well as object. We see whom and whose. Whom refers to people used in formal English and it will naturally be an object. Whose shows you who does it belong to. This is the boy whose father is a doctor. This will act as an object. This is how to replace. In your school, you may get questions like how to join the sentences using a relative noun. That means you will say, this is my book, it is a new book. You will say, this is my book, which is new. You also may get fill in the blanks. So you will have to understand this, that who refers to people used in ordinary talking, which refers to animal and objects, which is subject and object. That is often used for who, whom and which. Whom refers to people used in formal English and is naturally used in object. Whom is relating to people and it is in possession. It is the he who possesses it. What stands for that which. Remember all this and you will be easily able to answer all your questions. For example, I say she had a box. So I used a noun. So we can use that and which. It is a non-living thing. So it is an object. So we can use that. She had a box that had no lid. We can also say she had a box which had no lid. So we see in relative pronoun also refers to the noun before. So by example, I say I like boys who are honest. So who stands for boys? It refers to the noun before it. We also see that relative noun acts as a pronoun and a conjunction at the same time. It can be used as a pronoun and it can be as used conjunction to join two sentences. So basically relative pronouns, it is used to join two sentences. This is all about relative pronoun. Now let us see the eighth pronoun, that is the interrogative pronoun. In the interrogative pronoun, words like who, whom, whose, what, which and when are used to ask questions. Now we see the watchman is asking the boy, who are you? It is a direct question. Who can you come to save them? It's an indirect question. You can ask direct and indirect questions in interrogative pronouns. Then he asks him, what do you want? Which is your car? Who is this book? So all this who, whom, whose, what, which and whose are interrogative pronouns. So this is all about interrogative pronouns. Now let us see about the last pronoun, the ninth one, that the exclamatory pronoun. Exclamatory pronoun, exclamation means which you exclaim, some surprise. But in exclamatory pronoun, the pronoun is used as an exclamation. Exclamation for what? A what word is used for an issue. For example, I say, what? Can't you not meet him? What? Won't they come? It is an issue. It is not any surprise or disgust, but anything which consists of what word is used for issue is an exclamatory pronoun. So this is all about the 9 types of pronouns, that is the personal pronoun, emphatic pronoun, reflexive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun which means point out, indefinite, all, some, none, everyone, etc. Distributive means each, either, neither. Relative means to join two sentences, which, who, which, that, whom, whose, what. Interrogative, we ask questions, and who, what, which, whose, when. And exclamatory, we use exclamation, we use the what word which is used for an issue. I hope the concept is clear about the 9 types of pronouns. Thank you.